You ever spend thousands on someone, only for them to trash you behind your back? Yeah, that's what happened to me. This is the story of how my so-called best friend spit on a gift I saved for months to give her, and how I made sure she paid for it. Stay with me as I walk you through what really happened. And if this story hits you anywhere in the heart, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. So my name's Lauren. I'm 27, a little shy, but always try to do the right thing. And Chloe? She was my best friend. She's 28, full of style, charm, and a little too much confidence. We met in college and have been close ever since, or so I thought. Last Christmas, I wanted to do something really special for her. She had been dreaming about this designer handbag forever. It was way out of my budget, but I saved for 6 months. I skipped eating out, canceled weekend plans, picked up extra shifts. Finally, I got the exact one she always talked about, the limited edition one, in her favorite color. It cost me just over $3,000, but I was excited to see her smile. I wrapped it beautifully, added a handwritten note, and gave it to her at our annual friend group gift exchange. She seemed surprised, even a little emotional. "You didn't have to," she said with a small smile. I thought it was a moment, something she'd remember forever. Turns out, I was the only one who'd remember it that way. A few days later, we all went to a holiday party hosted by a mutual friend. I was in the kitchen, grabbing some snacks, when I heard laughter coming from the hallway. I recognized Chloe's voice. Curious, I peeked around the corner and heard her laughing with 2 other friends. "Oh my God, did you see that bag Lauren gave me?" she said, giggling. "It looks so cheap, like something you'd get from a flea market." The others laughed. One asked, "Didn't she say it was designer?" Chloe rolled her eyes. "Please. I'd never wear that thing in public. It's so tacky." I just stood there, frozen. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That bag wasn't just a gift. It was my time, my effort, my savings. It was me trying to show love the way I knew how. And she trashed it, behind my back, with strangers. I left the party without saying anything. But in that moment, something inside me broke. And something else started to rise, something that wasn't going to let her get away with it. After that night, I couldn't sleep. Chloe's voice kept playing in my head, the way she laughed, the way she made fun of something I had put my heart into. And suddenly, it was like someone had flipped a switch in my brain. I started seeing everything differently. I kept asking myself, how did I not notice this before? How did I not realize that Chloe had always treated me like this, just in smaller, quieter ways? There was that time in college when our group of friends planned a weekend trip to the mountain. I found out about it from someone else a day before they left. When I asked Chloe why she hadn't told me, she said, "Oh, I thought you were too busy with work. I didn't want to bother you." At the time, I believed her. I always gave her the benefit of the doubt. Then there was my birthday 2 years ago. She showed up late, didn't bring a gift, and spent most of the night scrolling through her phone. When someone asked what I did for work, I started to explain, "I'm a freelance designer," and she cut in with, "She just plays around on her laptop all day." Everyone laughed. I laughed too. But it stung. Now I could see it all clearly. The backhanded compliments. The way she never really celebrated my wins, but always made sure I noticed her. If I bought something nice for myself, she'd say, "Wow, look who's suddenly rich." If I posted something I was proud of, she'd comment, "Cute. You're getting there." I always thought Chloe was just a little blunt, that she didn't mean anything by it. I told myself she loved me in her own way. But now I knew better. She didn't love me. She tolerated me, maybe even used me, and I let her. I went back through old texts, photos, memories, trying to find something real between us. But all I found were little red flags I had ignored for years. It wasn't just about the bag anymore. It was about everything. Every time I let her talk down to me. Every time I thought her friendship was enough, even when it made me feel small. The Christmas insult didn't come out of nowhere. It was just the first time I truly heard her for who she was. And I finally realized, Chloe was never really my friend. I left the party without saying goodbye. I didn't want anyone to see the tears building in my eyes. I just walked out into the cold, my hands shaking, trying to process what I had just heard. Chloe, my best friend, had mocked the very gift I poured my heart, time, and savings into. And not in private, but out loud, with others laughing along. As I sat in my car, I tried to calm myself. Maybe I misheard her. Maybe it wasn't as bad as it sounded. Maybe she was just joking, and it came out wrong. My brain kept trying to protect me, to make excuses for her like it always did. But deep down, I knew the truth. That bag wasn't just a gift. It was a symbol of everything I thought our friendship stood for. I had worked so hard, cut corners, skipped personal things, just to make that moment special. Chloe had once said it was her dream bag. I remembered her eyes lighting up when she saw someone carrying it. She'd said, "If someone gave me that, I'd cry." So I gave her that, and she laughed behind my back. When I got home, I sat on my bed in the dark, still in my coat. My phone buzzed. It was a text from Chloe. "Thanks for the bag. It's sweet." That was it. No photo, no I love it, no heart emoji. Just 3 words and an ellipsis that felt like a slap. I stared at it, my heart pounding. I wanted to scream, cry, throw my phone. I ended up doing none of that. Instead, I opened my banking app and checked the charge. $3,045. Just seeing the number made me feel sick. I had saved for months. That money was supposed to go toward a trip, maybe a new laptop. But I had spent it all on her. And for what? She didn't appreciate it. She didn't care. That message she sent wasn't gratitude. It was sarcasm dressed up as politeness. And it hit me. She didn't even try to hide it. I sat there in silence, feeling like a fool. I had tried so hard to make her feel special, to show her I cared. But I was the only one trying. And for the first time, I didn't feel sad. I felt angry. Something inside me shifted. A quiet voice inside whispered, no more. No more excuses. No more chasing her approval. No more letting her walk over me. That Christmas changed something in me. It didn't just end a friendship. It opened my eyes. I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet. But one thing was clear. I was done being the one who always gave and got nothing back. For a few weeks after Christmas, I kept my distance from Chloe. I didn't confront her, didn't ask about the text, didn't bring up what I heard at the party. I told myself maybe I was being too sensitive. Maybe it would blow over. I just needed time to breathe. But it kept bothering me. That gift wasn't just money. It was effort, love, trust. And she tossed it away like it meant nothing. Still, I stayed quiet until the brunch. A few of our mutual friends had planned a casual Sunday get-together. I thought about skipping it, but I didn't want to let Chloe control my decision. So I went. Big mistake. Chloe walked in like she always did, like the main character. Hair done, heels clicking, sunglasses still on indoors. But what caught my eye wasn't her attitude. It was the bag on her shoulder. It looked almost like the one I gave her. Same shape, same color, but it was definitely a fake. I knew the stitching, the zippers, the details. She was wearing a knockoff. Boldly, proudly. I tried to stay calm, sipping my coffee, pretending not to notice. But then someone at the table complimented her. Ooh, love your bag, Chloe. Is that the one you got for Christmas? Chloe laughed. That smug, sharp laugh I used to think was cute. Oh no, she said, waving her hand. This is the one I actually wanted. Not that thing I got for Christmas. Don't even know where that went. Her words hit me like a slap. My stomach dropped. My face burned. She knew I was sitting right there. I didn't say a word. I couldn't. I was frozen. But someone else at the table, our friend Julia, looked at me. Her eyes widened like, did she really just say that? She knew. She heard it too. That was the moment everything changed. Chloe didn't just mock my gift in private. She humiliated me in public. She didn't care how it made me feel. She wanted people to laugh. She wanted them to see her as better, above it all. I stayed through brunch, silent but seething. And when I got home, I didn't cry this time. I didn't question myself. I knew exactly who she was now. And I knew I wasn't letting her walk away without consequence. If she wanted to make it personal, fine. It was personal now. The second I got home from that brunch, I pulled the real bag out of my closet, still wrapped in its original packaging, still untouched. She hadn't even opened it properly. I sat down at my kitchen table, staring at it, remembering how excited I was when it arrived, how carefully I had wrapped it, how I imagined her hugging me when she opened it. All of that felt like some twisted joke now. I opened my phone and scrolled back through my messages, found the purchase confirmation email, the order number, the shipping info, and finally, the digital receipt, $3,045. All for a woman who laughed behind my back and wore a fake in front of me. Then I scrolled further, way back to a message from about 8 months ago. We had been drinking wine at my place, watching some fashion vlog. Chloe had pointed at the screen, eyes wide. That's the one. My dream bag. If anyone ever gets me that, I owe them big time. She laughed, grabbed a napkin, and scribbled something dumb like, I, Chloe Morgan, swear on my future Chanel collection to Lauren a favor of epic proportion if she ever buys me the bag. She even signed it, laughing the whole time. We both did. I had saved it because it was funny and kind of cute. But now it was fuel. I snapped a photo of the receipt and the napkin. Then I opened a new text to Chloe and wrote, in case you want to return the real one you never wore, enjoy the knockoff. Also, remember this? Attach the images. Hit send. She didn't reply immediately, but I knew she would. And not just because of the text. I started thinking seriously about that signed napkin. It was dumb, yes. But combined with proof of purchase, and her taking the gift and mocking it publicly, it actually looked like a casual agreement. So I called Maya, my friend who works as a junior paralegal. I told her everything. She was quiet at first, then said, wait, she actually signed something? Like with intent. Well, it was a joke, but yeah. It's her handwriting. And she accepted the gift. Maya asked me to send her the pictures. A few hours later, she called back. Okay, so, this isn't solid gold, but honestly, With the receipts, the signature, and the fact she publicly made fun of you while wearing a fake? You could take this to small claims, especially since you bought it on credit. There's a financial burden. I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Control. For the first time, I wasn't just reacting. I was planning. She wanted to act fake? Fine. I had the real thing, and not just the bag. I had proof, a paper trail, and a reason to make her finally take me seriously. The next day, I met up with Maya at her office during her lunch break. She had already looked over everything I sent, the receipt, the messages, the napkin Chloe signed that night we were drinking wine, and even a screenshot from Julia who confirmed she heard Chloe's comment at. I sat across from Maya, still unsure if I was being too dramatic. It was just a joke, right? I asked quietly. I mean, it's not like she actually thought it was a contract. Maya shook her head. Lauren, listen. It may have started as a joke, but here's the thing. She signed it, accepted the gift, and acknowledged it multiple times in writing. You have proof that she received something of real value, over $3,000, and then publicly disrespected it while wearing a counterfeit version. That matters. I blinked. But it's not like she promised to pay me back. She didn't have to. That napkin, even if it was playful, shows intent. In court, that's part of what matters. Intent, acknowledgement, and how it looks in context. And this wasn't a cheap joke gift. You went into credit card debt for this, right? I nodded. 6 months of saving. And yeah, I'm still paying it off. Exactly, Maya said. This isn't petty. It's financial. You suffered a loss. She accepted the benefit and tried to humiliate you afterward. That can be seen as bad faith, false representation, breach of a verbal or informal agreement. I sat back in my chair, her words slowly sinking in. Chloe always acted like she was above everyone, that nothing could touch her. But maybe, just maybe, she was about to learn that actions have consequences. Maya leaned forward. So, here's the question. You want to file in small claims court? I looked at her, thinking about all the times I let things slide. The parties Chloe didn't invite me to. The way she cut me down in front of people. The way I always forgave her, even when I shouldn't have. And now this? I took a deep breath. Yeah, I said. I do. Maya nodded. Good. I'll help you put it together. For the first time, I didn't feel powerless or hurt. I felt focused. I wasn't just doing this out of anger. I was doing it because I deserved better, and because Chloe needed to understand that friendship isn't a one-way street. I could have mailed the summons, but something in me wanted her to see it come from my hand, not out of pettiness, but because I wanted her to know I wasn't bluffing, that I was done being quiet, done being the friend she could walk over without consequence. I printed everything Maya helped me file, the small claims notice, the documented receipt, the evidence packet. I put it in a folder, walked up the steps to Chloe's apartment building, and rang her doorbell. She opened the door with that same smug look she always wore, half curious, half bored. Lauren, what's up? I didn't say a word. I handed her the folder and stepped back. She took it slowly, confused. What is this? Read it, I said flatly. She opened it, skimmed the first few lines, and laughed. Actually laughed. You're kidding, she scoffed. This is wow, you're seriously doing this? Over a bag? I didn't blink. I didn't flinch. I just looked at her the way she always looked at me, empty. I'll see you in court, I said. Then I turned and walked away. She didn't follow me, didn't yell. She just stood there, stunned, holding the folder like it was on fire. And for the first time in our entire friendship, I felt something shift. The power dynamic, the one where she always had the upper hand, cracked. The next day, the text started. At first, it was mockery. Wow, can't believe you're that desperate for attention. You really think a judge is going to take a joke contract seriously? Grow up. I ignored her. Then came the guilt trips. We've been friends for years. You're really going to ruin everything over this. I was just joking, Lauren. God, you know I joke like that. Then the desperation. Please just call me. Let's talk about this. I didn't mean to hurt you. I swear. This isn't you. You're not like this. She was wrong. This was me, the me who finally stopped letting people walk all over her. The final straw came when she showed up at my workplace. I work at a design studio downtown. She came in all dramatic, saying we needed to talk. One of my coworkers saw my face and immediately stepped in, asking if everything was okay. I nodded and walked away, while security politely asked Chloe to leave. She caused a scene, but I didn't look back. I was done explaining myself to someone who never cared about my side of things. She laughed when I gave, mocked when I loved, and now she was shocked that I stood up? No, she didn't get to rewrite the story this time. She got the summons, and she was going to get the message, loud and clear. The day of the court hearing finally arrived. I was nervous, sure, but also calm in a way I hadn't expected. I knew what I had. I had proof. I had facts. And for once, I wasn't going to let emotion get in the way. Chloe arrived 15 minutes late, dressed like she was attending a fashion show, heels too high, sunglasses too big, and her fake designer bag swinging proudly on her shoulder. She looked confident, like she thought this would be a joke, something she could laugh off. She spotted me sitting on the bench outside the courtroom and rolled her eye. "Really, Lauren? Still doing this?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. When we were called in, I stood up and walked in with my folder, neatly organized, everything labeled. Chloe strutted in behind me like she owned the place. But once the judge entered and things got serious, her attitude started to shift. The judge asked me to present my side first. I calmly handed over the packet, the $3,045 receipt, screenshots of the text messages, the napkin Chloe signed that night, and even a screenshot from Julia's message confirming Chloe's public insult. I explained that the gift was a significant financial burden I took on after Chloe expressed strong desire for that specific item, and even signed a playful but clearly intentional promise during that time. I mentioned that Chloe accepted the gift, then wore a knockoff version and publicly mocked the original, showing both bad faith and false representation. The judge read through the documents silently for a few moments, flipping through each page carefully. I didn't speak unless asked. I didn't need to. The evidence spoke louder than any words I could say. Then it was Chloe's turn. She tried to laugh it off, saying the signature was a joke, that I was being dramatic and emotionally unstable. She called it a friend misunderstanding, and said I was blowing it all out of proportion. But she didn't have any real defense. No paperwork, no proof, just attitude and empty words. The judge glanced back at the text messages, then at the receipt, then at me. Chloe's smirk slowly disappeared. It was in that moment, watching her realize this wasn't a game, that I felt something shift again. She was finally seeing what I'd seen for months, the truth. She crossed a line, and this time, someone was holding her accountable. The courtroom was quiet, tense. The judge had just finished reviewing everything, the signed napkin, the receipt, the messages, the screenshots. Chloe sat across the room with her arms crossed, lips pursed, waiting for her moment to talk her way out of it. I sat still, watching the judge's expression as he flipped through the papers one last time. Then he looked up. "I've reviewed all the documents," he began, his voice calm but firm. And while this started as what may have been intended as a joke, it became something more. Chloe shifted in her seat. "Your Honor, if I could just..." The judge raised his hand to stop her. "No, Ms. Morgan. I've read your messages, your statements, and the plaintiff's evidence. Here's what I see, a verbal and written agreement, joking or not, that shows intent and acceptance. The item in question was a luxury designer bag valued at over $3,000, purchased on credit and given in good faith." He continued, "You accepted the gift. You acknowledged it, then mocked it publicly, while wearing a counterfeit version. That constitutes malicious misrepresentation and a breach of informal agreement. This isn't just about a gift. It's about conduct, responsibility, and intent." Chloe's mouth fell open. "That's insane. It was a joke. She's just doing this because she's bitter." The judge cut her off. "This court isn't here to judge emotions. It's here to judge facts, and the facts are clear. I am ruling in favor of the plaintiff." He looked at me. "Ms. Turner, you are to be repaid the full amount of $3,045, along with court filing fees. The defendant has 30 days to comply." I didn't smile. I didn't react. I just sat there, taking it in. Chloe stood up suddenly, grabbing her knockoff bag like it had just insulted her. "This is ridiculous," she hissed. "I hope you're happy, Lauren." Then she stormed out, heels clacking angrily down the courthouse hallway. I stayed in my seat for another minute. Not because I was shocked, but because I wanted to feel what victory actually felt like. It wasn't what I expected. I wasn't happy. Not exactly. I didn't feel like celebrating or gloating. I just felt lighter, like I'd finally set something down I had been carrying for far too long. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about finally being heard, about finally standing up for myself after years of letting someone else treat me like I didn't matter. I walked out of the courtroom alone, but I felt stronger than I had in a long time. Not because I won in court, but because, for the first time, I didn't let someone walk away without consequence. People think winning feels amazing, like a movie ending where you walk off into the sunset with your head held high. But it's not always like that. Not when the person you beat used to be someone you once loved like family. After court, I went home and sat in silence for a while. The judgment was done, Chloe had stormed off, and I had technically won. But it didn't feel like victory. It felt like relief, quiet, heavy, and bittersweet. I didn't do this for revenge. Not really. I didn't want to ruin Chloe's life or hurt her the way she hurt me. What I wanted, more than anything, was respect. I wanted her to see me as more than just a background character in her spotlight. I wanted her to realize I had value too, that I wasn't just someone to take from. But Chloe never saw it that way. To her, I was always the one who gave, the one who said yes, the one who showed up, the one who forgave. She liked that version of me. the one who didn't push back. When I gave her that gift, it came from a place of love. And when she mocked it, and me, it wasn't just about the bag. It was about everything. It was years of being talked over, laughed at, excluded, and still called best friend, like the title made up for the damage. Filing that lawsuit wasn't about the $3,045. It wasn't even about the fake bag. It was about drawing a line, saying enough, showing her and myself that I wasn't going to be disrespected quietly, and maybe she'll never understand that. Maybe she'll go on telling people I was petty or crazy or jealous. That's fine. She can say whatever she wants, but she can't say I didn't stand up for myself. Since then, we haven't spoken. The money came through eventually. I used it to finally pay off the credit card and bought myself a secondhand version of that same bag. Not because I needed it, but because I wanted to carry something that reminded me of my own. Chloe is gone from my life now, and honestly, that's the biggest gift I've ever given myself. Letting go. No, revenge doesn't always feel good, but sometimes it's exactly what's needed to remember who you are. What would you have done if your closest friend turned your kindness into a joke? Would you have let it go, or stood up like Lauren did? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear your take. And if you like stories packed with real emotion and hard choices, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.